Well, I think the federal is meant to look that way. There's some intentionality in complexioning it in a manner that gives the impression that it's very strong. And so when we came back to civil rule in 1999, the leadership had not weaned itself completely of its military background, and so was appropriating, structures that ordinarily powers that ought to be exercised by other, structures, whether they are political parties, whether they have to do with local government. You remember the issue between Lagos State and the federal government. The Supreme Court ruled, and the president weighed in and said that was not, and never released those funds. That level of impunity had given the impression that the federal government was powerful. And those who took over from that period did not do anything. They continued to behave in the manner in which the first person, the kind of precedents that he set. What do I mean by that? The argument for state creation is that you are viable. When we were in the national conference in 2014, more than 100 groups came out to say they wanted states, and they brought proposals to show that if they were giving those states, that they are viable. Right? So, and if you look at those documents, truly, you will see viability.
That's just all of it?
Yes, you will see that. If you look at those, you will actually see that the things that can make them viable exist in those states. But what then happened? We came to that point where we started looking to the federal government and mobilizing our citizens to think that way. So, what do we discuss? We discuss national budget. Oh, when the budget is passed, everything will be okay. The Nigerian talking about the budget doesn't know that there is budgets passed in his own state. He doesn't know that the local government in the state passes a budget, including educated people who live within those communities. We all come from 4 different communities as individuals. The community where we are born, the community where we reside, the community where we work, and the community that affects all of us. But in all of these communities, we take our attention away and begin to focus. If you board a vehicle in any state in Nigeria and you're listening on radio, if it has to do with criticism, it must be about Abuja. The conversation within the state will have to be who visited the governor, where the governor went, and all of those issues. So there's a mindset capturing that has taken place to give the impression that the states, the federal superintends over everything. Like I said in the opener, the resources of the states, the federal federation is shared among the federal and the states. And I don't like you, I like you does not play in that. You must get every state gets its allocation every month. Whether the man at the top, whether you belong to the same party or not. So the resources that comes to that state, the structures of accountability and oversight within the states are weakened by the authoritarian rule that we have seen over a period of time within the states, capturing the state assembly. The state assembly in most parts of the country have no capacity to question the chief executive of their states. The state judiciary cannot rule against the chief executive of the state. The civil society groups and organizations within that state cannot do budget monitoring. So it has to take national organizations to follow the money and then budget and all of those issues, because the structures of accountability within the subnationals are weak or captured. So it's not that the federal is powerful, it is because it is made to look that way. And when these structures, when these subnational structures of accountability and oversight are awakened to their responsibility, the governors will do what they have to do. You virtually have emperors in the states, and the pretense to the contrary is what amazes me at times, that we don't know that in the states there are no opposition. What you call opposition political parties are they are appendages, really, if you like to use that word. But the point is that we will need to awaken this, what I call those structures of accountability and oversight within the state to be active. We need to raise more active citizens within the state. The kind of furor that exists during a national election, you don't see that in a the local government election is abandoned by citizens in a way that the kind of accountability we expect from INEC, for instance, the oversight we put on INEC, the pressure that we put on those institutions, local government elections hold, governors and the dominant political parties within those states take 99%. 100. Sometimes without even a concession. An election is supposed to be a competitive enterprise. It's supposed to be, positions are supposed to be contested. And then right now, you see a solidarity of benefit going on around the states in terms of even those who should be clamoring for independence, saying they don't want independence. And that is a huge challenge. It's a solidarity of benefit. So you come through a leadership recruitment process that is not democratic, and then a single individual appropriates that platform, and then everybody says, look, we are happy with what's going on. Don't give us independence. You know, even when we collect the money, we are going to bring it back to you. So the huge challenge for us is to awaken those structures of accountability and oversight.